And that interview will actually be dropping tonight on YouTube. But the assistants have been assistants, and Brother Bilal, Will Smith's friend of 40 years, and assistant and stuff, to him and Dwayne Martin, have really been pushing the assistants out of their cubicles. Let me tell you, because we got another assistant here. Let me tell you. Baby, who's assistant? Hello. Whose assistant were you? Kevin Hart's.
Let me go ahead and stop it right here. How you guys doing? Welcome to Real Talk with your girl, Lady D, unapologetic and non-biased. So I'm gonna see how everything is sounding. Let me go ahead and do my mic check because I see it where I'm not jumping, and that's a good sign right there, guys. I've been trying to see how I can go ahead and make it happen. So let me go ahead and do my mic check to make sure that everything is good. Everything so far is looking good. But as you can see right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about all the stuff that is going on when it comes to Tasha K. I hope you guys like my background and everything like that. But as you can see, look, I'm not jumping, I'm not in the matrix. Everything looks good. I went ahead and I plugged my camera in to see how it was going to work, and so far it's working good. But let's go and talk a little bit about all the stuff that is going on when it comes to Tasha K. I mean, Tasha K is just doing a little too much. But, like she said, she's going to get the money, and it's not exact words by any means necessary. But the thing about it is, at what cost? Because you playing with people's lives. This is serious. This is no joke at all. I see Terrell Heron is coming in saying, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to my live Real Talk with your girl, Lady D, unapologetic and non-biased. So, guys, I want to go ahead and talk about all this right here. But before I continue, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like. It's not going to hurt. Come in and share these videos for more unapologetic content. But this right here, guys, this is serious, and it's no joke, because, Tasha K should have learned from, when she went through all the stuff with Cardi B. I mean, that was serious. A $4 million, lawsuit. That's like having a dark cloud over your head. But it's like a dog going back into his own vomit. And now, she's after Kevin Hart. She was after Jada and Will and all the stuff that, with R. Kelly. I mean, Tasha K, when you going to pump your brakes? Enough is enough. And we already know when it comes to her cease and desist letter, which I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of that. She used it as tissue paper. Girl, you got to take that serious. You can't use these cease and desist letters like it's tissue paper. I see my girls in the house, Starbucks lovers. She says, welcome everyone to Real Talk with your Lady D. Yes, indeed. But guys, this right here, this is a lot. And I want to go ahead and talk about it because, like I said, when it comes to Kevin Hart assistant, oh, she's going to pay. Yes, she's going to pay severely. Now, I don't know how it's going to work, when it comes to Tasha K, if Kevin Hart can, go after her. I don't know, but I know one thing when it comes to Kevin Hart, his money is very, very long, and pretty much, he's, he going to make something happen. But this right here, guys, this is serious. And some people, they are out there calling Tasha K Robin Hood. I call her the slave catcher because, I mean, she is catching these black celebrities and she is handing them on a silver platter to baby Babylon. That's exactly what she's doing. And, it's not like, if you're going to tear down, you're going to build back up. Tasha K is not building up. We already know, according to some of the videos out there, the reason why she's doing it. But like I said, much is given, much is required. It doesn't, like I say, it doesn't pay. It's like a dog going back into their own vomit. And the thing about it, if you going to put that type of information out, make sure you have a sober mind. Tasha K and the assistant, they are drinking and laughing. You playing with people's lives, and you got to make sure that you are in the right mindset. Because you can't just do stuff like this. And now she went to Africa. I don't know if she need these ancestors to cover her or whatever, but like I said, it's not going to work, especially when you are tearing down. So let me go ahead and I'm going to read some of the cease and desist letter that she had gotten. And we already know when it comes to Tasha K is going to go ahead and she going to use that like it's some kind of tissue paper. But girl, I mean, you may get away with it once, but she didn't even get away with it when it came to Cardi B. Tasha K is paying severely. Now, if you think that this is the way that you going to pay, that debt that you owe to Cardi B for $4 million by tearing down other people. But then you got them. What about them? So I don't know. Dag, what's going on with her husband? Look like Tasha K husband would say, look, Tasha K, look, it's enough. Let it go. Stop doing this. It's not working. But I just don't understand why Tasha K husband don't tell her to go ahead and pump her brakes. But let me go ahead and read this right here, which I know you guys heard it, over 101 times. But this right here is the cease and desist letter that it went ahead and they gave Tasha K. And the thing about it is that they have Tasha K address on it, Latasha Transrena Kiva, and then they have her address. I mean, that's not good at all. Now I see why they have their son in Africa, because the stuff that she's doing, you are playing with a machine, you are playing with fire. Okay. And I know that Tasha K, she's a fierce person, but like I said, you don't tear down, stuff like that, especially, the way that you are doing it. But let me go ahead and read this right quick. It says, Miss Kibi, the office represent Kevin Hart. I am writing regards your recent and ongoing violation of civil and criminal law, and to demand that you immediately cease and desist all such activities. And we already know that Tasha K, she didn't take it down. If anything, she really celebrating over stuff like this. So I don't know, Tasha K. I don't know who is giving you, who is advising you. Whoever is advising you, my girl, they got to be your worst enemy. And also it says you have already engaged in criminal conduct and torturous act that would entitle Mr. Hart to monetary damage against you should elect to commence even litigation regarding this matter. To the extent that you do not cease and desist now, your liability for such monetary damage will increase, as will your exposure to criminal penalty. So they are saying now that, this is not only a civil suit, this can be criminal. And the reason why it's criminal, let me go ahead and continue reading. It says, as you all no doubt aware, recently someone on Mr. Hart's team was contacted by an unknown individual who indicated that he was affiliated with you and your blogs. The individual working at your direction stated that you would publish a story on social media. The story that you content will be damaging to Mr. Hart reputation unless Mr. Hart pays $25,000, $250,000. So right there, they was trying to say that Tasha K, was trying to go ahead and blackmail him or something like that. But this is not good at all. And also it says this, of course, constitute extortion under Penal Code, which I'm not going to read the code, and gives rise to both criminal and civil liability against you and anyone involved in your effort to extort Mr. Hart. California extortion law prohibits any attempt to obtain consideration for another through the wrongful use or force or fear. So I guess, when Tasha K was doing all this, I don't know if she was in California or not, but also it says your effort to extract payment from Mr. Hart by threatening exposure of information supposedly harmful to him in a textbook example. We have thus contact the police and will be following up with law enforcement as we deem appropriate. Now, this right here, guys, this right here, I don't know about you, but this right here, this is serious. And to say that, Tasha K, she's looking at it like, okay, she got all the receipts, but still of all, you know, the assistant, Kevin assistant, even though she signed NDA, but, most likely they going to go after her, but they can go after Tasha K as well, which I wouldn't even want to get into all this. To me, it's like playing with fire. So this is all the posts that Tasha K went ahead and put out. She says the full interview is available on TashaK.com. So you can go to, her little site and you can see all this stuff right here. If I'm not mistaken, it's $12. But right here it says, according to Kevin Hart assistant, he allegedly paid a stranger $4 million to switch seats with him during an accident to avoid a DUI. Now, that's what the assistant had said, and she went ahead and said allegedly. Now, she had all the facts why, she had to, come out and say allegedly, but I guess that's Tasha K is covering herself. But, if Kevin Hart went ahead and paid, someone $4 million just to take that DUI, shoot, the average person probably would have did the same thing as well. So let me see what else Tasha K have. It says also Kevin Hart allegedly frame his ex-best friend of 30 years, JT Jackson, in fake extortion plot during a Vegas cheating scandal. Now, I don't know what that is. And also shock and tell all, Kevin Hart assistant spill wine with Tasha K finally revealed the unseen reality with Kevin team, including gambling problems, work flings, and much more. So all that right there, what they putting out as exclusive, to me is just to embarrass Kevin Hart. It's nothing that can cause him to go to jail, unless the guy that they said allegedly he paid $4 million for that DUI, he started ratting, which I don't think so. And also it says Kevin Hart personal assistant allegedly accidentally walked in on Kevin Hart with a female employee in his office doing something she knew wasn't good. And like I said, I hope she think that it was worth it, because she can wrap it up. I don't think that no one, especially when it comes to celebrities, I don't even think any celebrities, would even hire her. So I don't know if Tasha K, and I'm going to say allegedly, because like I say, all this right here to me is for entertainment purpose only. So I don't know if she going to get a cut out of all the money that Tasha K is bringing in, because, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of her coming out, to expose him, and she's not getting nothing out of the deal? She's giving the information to Tasha K. Now, if she had all that information, why, she didn't go and write a book and told, maybe tell Tasha K, if you want to know what's going on with Kevin Hart, just read my book. Or she could have, been on Tasha K platform and she could have been promoting her book. Like I say, guys, when it comes to our people just don't think. It's like we have sold our soul for almighty dollars. It make sense. It doesn't make no sense at all. At what cost? By you exposing this celebrity, what are you going to get out of it? Even if Tasha K give you a cut, and I'm going to say allegedly, it's not going to last long, because like I say, you never win when you play dirty. Make it make sense, guys. It doesn't make no sense at all. And that's why I says it all the time, especially when it comes to my people. And I like Tasha K. I was praying for her, especially, all the stuff that, she was going through when it came to Cardi B. Just imagine, having a $4 million lawsuit over your head. Like I say, that's like having a dark cloud over your head, but the average person, if they went through something like that, they learn from the mistakes. They don't continue sitting there going and dipping and dabbing in the same mess. What person going to do that? A sane person is not going to do that. And I don't know, man. Tasha K, this is not right. And like I said, at what cost? It's not worth it. And I know that this is celebrity and it's going to get you a lot of clicks and it's going to give you a lot of likes. But at the end of the day, if I got to tear it down, in order for me to sit there and put food on my table, I don't want it because I have to sleep at night. And to me, this right here, it's like a lot of mess. All this right here, it doesn't make no sense. And the thing about it, especially when it comes to our people, sometimes we can't keep saying, oh, it's a white man. Like I said, old Massa don't have to do anything anymore. All he have to do is just sit back and drink his lemonade or whatever he's drinking, because we doing the job for him. We tearing each other down. But yet, soon in a minute, when something happened, we want to go out there, we want to march, we want to protest. But what about how we destroying one another? All for almighty dollars. And like I say, when it comes to money, the love of money can be the root of all evil. And if I got to sit there and I got to tear down in order for me to sit there and try to put food on my table, I don't, I rather just sit there and just stay hungry, because I'm not going to tear down, not knowing that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So, it doesn't make no sense. And the thing about it is that it's like with Jada and Will. Tasha K was after Jada and Will, and now they are suing her. And I'm going to say allegedly because I really don't follow all this stuff right here. But what about Steve Harvey? How she was on Steve Harvey. I mean, no one, everybody's saying that Tasha K, is trying to be the next Wendy Williams. So look what Wendy Williams is. Look at her. It's like she just out of her mind because she done tore down so much. Like I say, when you dig one ditch, you better make sure that you dig another one, because you're going to end up falling in that ditch, as well. But when it comes to the assistant, signing that NDA, you know, like I said, she's going to be held accountable for that because she's breaching that contract. That's the reason why they put those contracts in place. When they say that you cannot, talk and you cannot say certain things that goes on, are you going to breach that contract? Then you cannot say anything. Now, if it was like, she was at a scene and it was like she witnessed the big R or the big M, you know exactly what I'm talking about without saying it. Of course, she can go ahead and she can break that contract, but you cannot break a contract just because you saw Kevin Hart, cheating over his wife. Cheating is not a crime. It's not a crime. Like I said, 99.9% of men, they cheat. So that is not a crime, guys, not at all. So let me see if I can read some more of the stuff. But it's time for our people to stop. And just like Tasha K said, and she had said that she's gonna get it any mean necessary. But if I got to go deep down to hell to go and pull out all this stuff right here, then especially when I got small children, I would ask myself, is it worth it? But what's going on with the husband. I don't understand why he's allowing Tasha K just continue to make all these mistakes. So let me see if I can read this part right here because some of this stuff is cut off. It says engaging in criminal conduct and torturous act that would entitle Mr. Hart to monetary damage against you should I'm trying to read this. You should he elect to commence civil litigation regarding the matter to the extent that you do not cease and desist now, your liability for such monetary damage will increase as well your exposure to criminal penalty because they're saying that with the 20 with the $250,000 extortion. As you are no doubt aware, recently someone on Mr. Hart team was contacted by an unknown individual who indicated that he was affiliated with you and your blogs, which I read that part right there. Let me see if I can read another one. Let me see what this one says. Yeah, let me read this one. It says, which clearly was intended as a threat, sending a message to Mr. Hart team that the more detailed story would not be published if and only if the ransom is paid. My God. Wow. So right there, they are, saying that Tasha K was blackmailing him. And I'm gonna say a legend. Like I said, all this stuff right here is for entertainment purpose only. And it says your statement at approximately the 2.6 mark of the teaser video that when you don't pay, we have to get money by any means necessary. And that's the video that I had just went ahead and played. And like I said, when Tasha K, do stuff like this, she should do it with a sober mind. No way in the world. I don't give a care if I call myself the winos or whatever. I'm not going to drink because I want to make sure that everything that I say, I'm very well and I'm not under any, alcohol. But also it says, in addition to liability arising from such criminal conduct, the threatened activity would constitute a violation of non-disclosure agreement between Mr. Hart and Mrs. Shakes that contained mutual release and non-disclosure agreement dated October 22, 2020, the NDA between those individuals. While we do not presently known the specifics of the story of Mrs. Shakes' assertions, the subject matter of the story to which the YouTuber teaser allude would necessarily derive from information Ms. Shakes gained while in Mr. Hart employee, and thus for squarely within the NDA definition of confidential information. Any such disclosure from Mr. Shake within the NDA definition of confidential information, any such disclosure from Mr. Shake is connected with the story, therefore constitute a clear violation of the NBA terms. To the extent that you were to facilitate such a breach of the NBA by publishing the story, you would be subject to civil liability for extensional interference with contractual relationships. So right there is saying that by Tasha K is interfering with the assistant, how she's breaching the contract, that Tasha K can be liable as well, because right here it says you should be subject to civil liability for intentionally interfering within contractual relationship, as well as aiding and abetting Mrs. Shake's torturous conduct against Mr. Hart, in addition to direct liability resulting from your own treacherous conduct. We are aware of the fact that you have established history of posting defamatory and otherwise inappropriate content regarding celebrities and other high-profile individual. For instance, most recently, you will find liability for civil damage exceeding $3 million in a defamation lawsuit by the musician. So right there, they talking about Cardi B. But like I said, guys, when is enough is enough. Ain't nowhere in the world that I would do something like that. But like I said, the love of money, can be the root of all evil. But what's your thoughts about it? Let me know what your thoughts about it, because to me, it's like Tasha K, she's catching them. It's like a slave catcher. She's trying to grab as many as she can, especially when it comes to these black celebrities. I mean, before you know it, none of our celebrities, is going to die with their legacy intact. You know, why, we just got to tear down one another. Like I said, guys, this right here, it's just got to stop. Enough is enough. This right here, to me, it's just too much. Is it worth it? It's not worth it at all. Knowing that our people been through so much as is. Starbucks lovers say this is deep. Yes, it is deep. And not only it is deep, this right here, this is serious. And we already know that Tasha K didn't take it serious when it came to Cardi B, and how she came on and she cried, and how Cardi B, felt sorry, wondering, should she go ahead and try to see if she could, drop the $4 million lawsuit that was over Tasha K head. And then they say Cardi B came out and said that, she's going to continue with it because Tasha K, she's not serious. She's not learning from her mistakes. But right there is showing, that Tasha K is not learning from her mistakes. And like I said, when it comes to Tasha K, I don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in, but like us, how long you going to continue sitting there doing the same thing that's not only jeopardizing, you, but your family as well. All you doing is pretty much everything that you worked so hard for, you destroying it. And not only that, your children, it's going to play effect on them as well. So sometimes, like I said, especially when you get that easy money, it, sometimes, it's best for you to just sit there. If you can't not handle it, just go and get you a regular 9 to 5 job. That's just exactly how I look at it, because trust me, you're going to pay for it, especially when it's not being used right. You're not being a good steward. So what's the purpose of making all that money, and then you got to pay all these lawyers? The only ones that's going to get paid, get rich off it, and those the attorneys and the courts. So you pretty much, you working for them. And we already know when it comes to Kevin Hart, according to all the information that is out there, his money is really long. They say, between, I guess all his access, and it's, he's worth like over $420 million. That's a lot of money. That's more money than, probably Cardi B. So quite obvious, he can raise Johnny Cock. He can raise Johnny Cock, and he can raise him from the grave and get Johnny Cochran to go ahead and represent him. So, he got the money. But I don't think that, Tasha K money is that long. Like I said, guys, if I got to sit there and use my platform to tear down, then I don't want it. I'd rather just leave it where it's at. So that's pretty much, what I wanted to go ahead and talk about. So Star, if you're still on, how you think everything is coming out? Because I don't see, I'm glitching, because I usually, be into the matrix, but so far it look like everything is good. Because every time, I be look like everything just be all messed up. But so far, everything is looking good. What I did was I went ahead and I connect it to a camera, one of the old cameras that I have. I'm gonna go ahead and invest into one good, but I wanted to see how it was gonna work. And so far, everything looking good. I don't see where I'm freezing or anything, in the matrix. But yeah, guys, I wanted to go ahead and talk about it, because, like I said, I was pretty much, trying to root for Tasha K, wants to see her out. But sometimes our people, they just don't want to come out, especially when you making that money. It's like that curse money. You know how you make that curse money where you going to make it, even if I got to sit there and unalive myself. Starbucks said you look great and nothing is glitching. Yeah, what I did was I took the camera and I connected to the camera to see how everything was going to go ahead and work out. But so far it looks real good. I really like it. At least I don't have to sit there and use an avatar, because like I said, I like coming on live. But guys, let me know your thoughts about all this right here, because our people do too much. Our people do too much. And the first thing when it start backfiring, the headline's gonna say everybody hates Tasha K. We dig ourselves in these holes. It's like we act like children. Guys, leave these people's stuff alone. Leave these people's stuff alone. It's all ours anyway. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything that you see, it belongs to us. All you doing is sitting there, you tearing yourself up, robbing Peter to pay Paul to try to go after something that is already yours. And Tasha K is very entertaining. She's very funny, and she has a huge follower. People going to support you, not, like I said, when it comes to all that exclusive, everybody got to have an exclusive. It's like they are addicted, to all that exclusive. Some of that stuff, the price is so severe. And like they said, much is given, much is required. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, is all that worth it, And to me, it's not, especially when I have to pay so much money, to go ahead and get myself out of all that stuff right there. But yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts about it, and I'm not here to sit there and try to put my foot on Tasha K. I'm not trying to do that. Like I said, in here, I try to stand on my truth and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm real talk. I'm going to call it like it is. We learn from our mistakes. And when we make a mistake, we don't continue sitting there and keep doing the same thing over and over. And if that's the case, then that person have a serious problem. So if that person is continue doing the same thing over and over, knowing that, it's causing so much harm, then you got to check yourself. Does that person have a problem? Do that person need some help, because you're not going to continue tearing down. And the thing about it is that these people, and I'm talking about the power that be, they enjoying it. They love it. They love when, we tearing each other down. They having a ball. But why? Tell me why we want to continue going out and policing and doing these people job. These people get paid for all that. So let them do their own job. But we got to stop tearing down, because like I say, they're not going to tear down their people. They'll use you as a puppet master to tear your own people down, because that's a generational curse. That's how that generation, when it came to our ancestors, how they would beat our people to tell and snitch on one another, where they used to have our people, lynching, and having people to watch. If you don't tell, then this is exactly what you're going to get. Like I said, what you see right here is all generational curses. These are generational curses. We know better, like I said, than being right there on the plantation. The only thing is that the puppet master is working behind the scene, giving you a few crumbs. You thinking just because they giving you a few dollars that you can go and you can tear down your brother or your sister. And we already know. And I'm not saying Tasha K is getting paid to tear down, but I'm just talking in general. Most likely, That's how it works. These people will pay our people to tear down each other. We already know it's all in the entertainment. They'll pay entertainers to go on stage and act like a buffoonery and just to sit there and destroy these silly sheets because they know that we are the type of people we likes to mimic everything. So if they can use these silly sheeps to draw in others to the slaughterhouse, then that's exactly what they're going to do until we say enough is enough, until we leave these people stuff alone. Because all that clout chasing and tearing down each other is sooner or later, like I say, all that right there is going to come to an end. And we're not going to be able to take all that old dirty baggage into 2024 because like I said, we are now going into open season where everything is going to be exposed. You're going to be exposed because not too many people, not even though we may have the same color, like I say, how it says, you know, just because you the same skin, that does not mean you the same kinfolks or something like that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's going to be a lot of people. They are not going to be crossing over. They're going to be left behind just because you look like us. It's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing, and you're going to know them by the fruit that they bearing. And soon a minute when everything started coming to an end, then you want to start crying. But you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. And like I said, I don't have a heaven hell to put nobody in, but it's time for us to stop. It's time for us to stop tearing down each other because like I said, they're not going to do it. Not when it comes to their people. If anything, they're going to cover it up. They're not going to talk about it. And the minute when you talk about it, they're going to go in and cancel you. But you start ripping your people and start, tearing down. Oh my God, they're going to help you until we wake up. It's time for us to wake up, guys. Enough is enough, and we handing our people to what I call Little Babylon. We handing them over to them on a silver platter. And the thing about it is that they enjoying every bit of it. But you have to ask yourself, is all this worth it? Is all this worth it? Especially when the Most High God gives us a platform. Are we going to use that platform to continue tearing down one another? And it's so sad, guys. Just look how certain things that we can say, when long as we tearing down and gossiping and ripping each other apart, we gonna get a green light. But when it's time for us to start educating and waking our people up, oh my God, they'll cancel you. They'll sit there and try to take your channel away from you. So right there, that's trying to tell you to stop helping these people do their job. Let these people do their own job. Stop being the judge, the jury, and executor. Because I promise you, it's going to be a price, and the price is going to be severe. You're going to have to pay the piper. Everything going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end. And that's real talk, guys. Like I said, I just can't sugarcoat it. I got to call it like it is. Now, some people may say, oh, this is boring. But like I said, guys, this is where our people up. It's time for us to go ahead and wake up. And by you saying, look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get it by any means necessary. But like I said, at what cost? At what cost? And I know, some might say, well, she's not afraid, to go out there and thread over serpents and scorpions, and going against the machine. She's not scared to go against the machine. But like I said, these people are going to protect themselves. These people are going to protect their brand. Do you think that these people is going to allow you to sit there and take money away from them? just for you to sit there and expose them. No, those people is not going to do that. So when you do stuff like this, you better make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, and you better make sure you have a sober mind, because you cannot say I'm going to tear down people and I'm drunk as a skunk. Because like I said, you messing with people money, and people is not going to let you mess with their money like that, especially when it comes to Hollywood, because like I say, the world is going to protect itself. And that's real talk, guys. It can't get no clearer than this. But it's time for us to sit there, and leave these people stuff alone and come out of her. Stop trying to hand our people over to Babylon, Stop being slave catchers, because that's all it is. God, let them people do their own job. Let these people do their own job, because I promise you, their hands is dripping as well. Their hands are dripping. But you don't want to go down with your legacy that I helped to sit there and tear down half of my people. You don't want to go down like that. Like I say, whatever they did, that's between them and their God, whoever. But the minute when you take money, then you become a Judas, because you're not doing it because you're trying to, help, people that's going through or they have destroyed. No, you're doing it because you're trying to put money into your house. Because if you're going to do it, you're not going to want to get paid for it. So anytime when you exchange money, that's just like Judas. Judas did that. And when Judas wanted to give the money back, it was too late. His conscience ended up tearing him up. Like I said, all money is not good money. If I have to sell my soul behind it, guys, it's not worth it, because you are no better than the ones that you trying to go ahead and tear down. And that's real talk, guys. Can't get no clearer than that. But yes, guys, I really like, I've been had this camera and never used it. Someone just told me to go ahead and connect that camera and see if I can, stop the glitching. And everything looks good. I really like it. I'm not going to tell you no lie. I really like it. But this is where our people at, guys. And I'm not here to sit there and, try to tear down people, but I'm just here to stand on my truth. And I pray, I pray for Tasha K. I pray for her family. I pray that, and I'm sincere about it. I pray that, she just sat there and changed position. Like I said on several of my videos, every time when I talk about Tasha K, you cannot continue putting that old wine into that new skin. It's going to burst. And now that we are going into a whole new year, which I call the 8th universal year, which means completion, is finished. So that means that nobody is going to get away with nothing. When you was a child, you act like a child. Now it's time for us to get in position. It's time for us to unify. It's time for us to come together. We can't keep wilding out there in our mess and keep crying and foul. We can't do that no more. Not once we walk into that new year, because what the Most High God is going to do, he's going to rip the sheets off of you. He's going to bring you to open shame. And I would never want that type of blood to be on my hands. I would never want that. I don't give a care what that person is doing. My job is not to tear down. And even if I tear down, I'm going to build back up. But you cannot continue tearing down and not building up. That's not true ministry. And whoever telling you that you can continue doing it, they're the enemy. Those are the ones that you're going to watch. Because a person that's in their right mind, they're going to say, pump your brakes. And that's where I don't understand when it comes to Tasha K. husband. I just don't understand. I just don't understand, why, He allowed her to keep making these same mistakes over and over and over. That's the part that I don't understand. And I'm not saying she's sleeping with the enemy, but I know, like I said, my better half, he'll tell me to pump my brakes, leave it alone. You know what happened the first time. Now you got all these people, is coming after you. You can't play with the court system like that because, like I say, these people love their own. And the minute when you walk your tail in there, all they see is one thing. They see your color. And do you actually think that these people, once you go to court, that they going to side with you? No, they going to go exactly where the money is. So that's why I say, especially, we have to learn to, we got to weigh it out. We got to weigh it out, is it worth it? And that's why, I had said, when I do come on, I want to use my platform. I want to use it, to build up. Now, like I said, if I'm going to tear down, I'm going to raise it back up. And I know a lot of people, especially when it comes to our people, our people, they love their ears tickled. If it's not about drama, they don't want to hear it. But like I said, guys, it's time for us to grow up. When we was a child, we act like a child, but it's time for us to grow up. Because as you can see right here, guys, the enemy is out there and he's working overtime, seeking whom he can devour. And we are not hurting nobody but ourselves. And I promise you, just like I said, honey, if you start pulling out all the skeletons that's in their closet, oh my God, you're going to see who are the real enemies. You're going to see who are the real devils. But see, we're not going to touch these people. We are not going to touch those people because that's the way that we was trained. We was trained to tear down one another. Like I said, we still have that slave mentality. When are we going to wake up? Just like the Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, turn from their wicked ways and seek my face. And it's time for us to seek his face. This is no joke, guys. This is real. We are right now of what I call end times. Either you're in or you're out, but you can't keep being lukewarm. You can't keep playing with fire because sooner or later, what's going to happen? You're going to get burnt. And that's real talk. And by, all the stuff that had happened, with the past, when it came to this big judgment, is it worth it? You have to say, is all this worth it? This stuff right here, it would never bring you peace because no one is going to respect you, especially when they are in the world that loves its own. They're going to be taken care of. So we cannot say we going out and we being a good Samaritan by shining a light on all this darkness. We are in darkness. Leave these people alone. Some people, like I said, you just got to love them from a distance. And I'm pretty sure, when it comes to Tasha K and her platform, people going to follow her regardless. They're going to follow her. You don't have to sit there, and tear her down to give them something to talk about. And even if you're doing this just to go ahead and pay that $4 million judgment, but then is it worth it? Because then you got other people that's coming after you as well. Make it make sense, guys. It doesn't add up. All it's doing is just putting yourself in a deeper hold. So whoever giving Tasha K that type of advice, I'm here to tell you, girl, they are not your friends. They are your enemies. And that's real talk. Because a friend going to tell you to change position. A friend is going to tell you what you used to do is not working for you anymore. Come out of her. Leave it alone. Do something different. That's what a real friend would tell you. They're not going to tell you to sit there and continue tearing down. They're not going to do that. because you know different than your slave masters. Like I said, life is just like a circle. Nothing is new under the sun. And what you're seeing right now, all this stuff is just playing out. But don't let your story be, because you're going to have to answer for it. You're going to have to give a report. Don't let your story saying all I did was tear down and I never built up. Don't let your story be like that. Because right now, as I say, we are writing our story. And who can tell it better than the ones that's been through it? And you cannot say, oh, I didn't know, because you did know. You heard all the stories that your forefathers been through. You saw all the movies, even though it was a movie, but some of that stuff happened. How they used to lynch our people so they can snitch on one another. But you got these people where they feel that they are untouchable. They are invisible because we don't go after them. We make these people think that what they are doing is right. Not knowing their hands, just like I said, much blood is dripping. But we are like vicious vipers tearing down each other just for a little piece of cheese. I'd rather eat grits all day and have peace than eat a steak and potatoes and be up all night. What's the purpose of gaining the entire world and losing your soul? Is it worth it? Robbing Peter to pay Paul, because that's all it is. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. And like I said, guys, especially when God give you a platform, use your platform wisely, because sooner or later, he's going to pull a prop right from under you. Don't you know if we come together on one accord, no devil in hell can prevail against it? Why do you think these people are so powerful today? Because you made them powerful. Because you never held their foot to the fire. But our people, we can't get away with nothing because we dare to sit there and hand them over on a silver platter. And that's why these people can continue working overtime on us. And that's real talk, guys. And like I say, when it comes to stuff like this is my ministry. I cannot tell you something that I never been through. I've been through it. I've been through hell and back, hanging on the outskirts of hell. But like I said there and say, you learn from your mistakes. And you reap what you sow. All those seeds that you are planting, words are seeds. Words are powerful. They going to harvest. They going to harvest. And when they start harvesting, you may not be able to handle it. So that's why we have to make sure that we don't allow our goods to be even spoken for, because you're going to answer for it. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may not even be next year. But you're going to answer for it. And all I can say, guys, was it worth it? Was all this right here, was it worth it? I don't think that it was worth it at all. Because nowhere in the world that I will sit there and have that much blood on my hands. And it does not have to be a physical death, but a spiritual death. Nowhere in the world I would have that much blood on my hands. No way in the world, because it's not worth it at all. It's not worth it at all, guys. So all I can say right now is that it's time for us to sit there and it's time for us to wake up. Stop letting these people work overtime on us. Stop letting these people think that we are the enemies. No, we are not the enemies, but we are an enemy to each other, because to them, we'll kiss the feet, the ground that they walk on. And they still look at you like the scum underneath their shoes. So like I said, it's up to us. It's time for us to wake up, guys. This is real talk. Can't get no real than this. And when it comes to all this right here, this is, this is my ministry. And now that I'm getting my cameras, everything is starting to look clear now. Shoot, you're gonna be seeing me on a regular base. You're gonna see me on a regular base because right now, guys, we are what you call end times. We can't keep sitting there dipping and dabbing in the things of the world. We can't keep playing with fire because sooner or later you're going to get burnt. So I do not want that blood on my hands. I do not want that blood on my doorpost, especially when the entire world got your address. I mean, this went viral with her address. No way in the world I could stay in that house. When the whole world knows exactly where I live, no way in the world that I could stay in that house. Now I see why she got her son and got him in Africa. My God, make it make sense. Don't you know, guys, that we are the head? We are not the tail. So why are we chasing something that's already ours? Make it make sense. Why are we chasing after stuff that's already ours? These people couldn't even survive without us. We are the lifeline to everything that exists. But yet we sitting there, we at the foot when we can sit there and not sit there and be at the table, but we can own the entire table. But how we gonna own the table when we got these silly sheep still asleep? Wake up, guys. It's time for us to wake up, and it's time for us to come out because they know their time is almost over with. They know their time is almost over with. But it's going to be many of our people that will not be able to cross over. They're going to be left behind. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it, guys? It's not worth it at all. I have 3 minutes. And now that my camera is good, like I said, guys, shoot. Until I get something better, I'm working on it. Because, like I said, it's time for our people to use your platform, use it wisely. And people, like I said, they're going to like you or they're going to hate you. People going to always have something to say. But long as what you do, you standing on your truth. Long as you standing on your truth, that's all that matters. Long as you can sleep at night, that's all that matters. But I'm not going to hand my people over to them on a silver platter when I know their people got a lot of skeletons in their closet. We sitting there, we worrying about tearing down our own. What about them? How they sat there, oh, that's what's a long time ago. I don't give a care if it happened 2,000 years ago. It happened. Their children's children is still benefiting off it, off of the blood and the sweat off of our people. We got these Catholic churches right now. They own 427 plus million acres of land right there in Africa. And I know that, who the heck sat there and gave all that land to the Catholic churches. We got people sitting on the throne that belongs to us. All the artifacts, all that stuff belongs to us. But yet we sitting there, we tearing each other down, not knowing that all this stuff belongs to us. Make it make sense, guys. That's just to show you we still asleep. It's time for us to come out, shake off of these grave clothes and come out of her. Because at the end, you're going to have to answer for it. You're going to answer for it. And I hope when you stand before the Most High God that you be able to give a good report. So my advice to you, if you're going to tear down, make sure you build it back up. make sure your hands is not dripping as well, because you're going to reap what you sow, and that's real talk. So thank you, Starbucks. Thank you for coming in. Also, Tara Herring, good evening, everyone. She said, thank you for coming in. Those that's going to catch the replay, make sure, like I said, you hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content in here. Like I said, all I could do is, stand on my truth. That's about it. I'm not here to tear down, because I don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. I don't have the power to raise it down, and I don't have the power to raise it back up. All I can do is just call it as I see it. But like I said, it's so much stuff is going on. But yet we sitting there, we still chasing after almighty dollars. What's the purpose of gaining the entire world and losing your soul? What's the purpose? It's not going to serve you nothing, because much is given, much is required. And you can never build a solid foundation off a material possession. That's just like building a house on sinking sand. And that's real talk. So, guys, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. And I'm going to talk to you guys most likely tomorrow. So you guys have a good night. Thank you, Star.